There'll be time for processing this later. With a bottle by my side, I can still be useful. I can still bring Novacore here, tell them what's going on. There are probably other tenants in trouble. And what if Irene comes back soon? The passenger elevator is right over there. Just a few leaks. I need to be careful. There's another way down, and I don't want to take it.
So I haven't been picking these up as we go, but in case you're wondering, these are the collectible cards.
That's the eastern building wall. My apartment is just a bit further down below. I've made a full circle. I don't think I should lean on that. Another hatch, huh? And red light. That's just great. But I'm not going to wait in Arthur's penthouse until he comes home and sees me next to his daughter's body in the shower. Well, that was easy. I can't believe it. This must be some kind of trap. Good day my ass. Both suns are down already, but this sign never changes. Card reader for penthouse access. I remember how I found a card in Irene's purse. She told me I was spying on her, going through stuff like that. I still can't believe she had the nerve to accuse me. Still, I hope this thing works. I really, really need to get out of this place. Nothing's happening. No.
Mr. Pikes! Long time no see. Did I miss anything? How was the penthouse of the love of your life and her husband? Oh, this never gets old.
There was Thea, Arthur's daughter. She was... Someone trapped her in a shower and turned the water on when I found her.
What happened? Did you manage to save her?
She's dead, Ollie. I needed your help. Where were you? How could something so advanced be so useless?
You know I can't operate without an interface.
I'm sorry, Ollie. It's getting to me.
Mr. Pikes, it's not your fault. Try not to think about it, at least for now. Your life is clearly in danger as well. Just concentrate on making it out of here in one piece. All right?
Just get me down. Can you do that?
I can, but it'll take a while. How about you take a break in the meantime and visit me again? The important thing I mentioned isn't ready yet, but preparations are in full force. You could take a look.
Why not?
Why not? Sheesh. Aren't you excited? But I'll let it slide this time. You know the drill. Close your eyes, Mr. Pikes. Hey, that rhymes. I just made you an epitaph. Welcome back, Mr. Pikes. Can I get you anything?
Wow.
Yes, everything is going according to plan. And on schedule, too. Just like a region public transport.
Your cat.
Delivered us diligently.
Those data pieces.
Are being processed and reassembled.
The door.
Should be ignored. Come on, I even moved it away.
This is getting interesting.
Ask away, Mr. Pikes. This is why you're here.
It's gotten dark.
Just like in Nova.
What's with the obsession over the physical world, Ollie? You can construct anything you want here. Why do you follow rules that don't apply?
Easy for you to say. Regardless of how you define consciousness, your self is hosted in a physical body. Your flesh confirms your existence. You'd be surprised how much I long for that. Maybe that's because my learning process, even though it was accelerated, I've been modeled after yours. But unlike you, I've been told that a certain combination of wavelengths makes the grass seem green to most of you. As a result, I know everything there is to know about vision. But I've never seen color, and I'm looking at the world through black and white overlay. Androids don't have that problem. I envy them.
Isn't it possible, theoretically at least, to install your blue box into a dummy?
TFX would never allow it. They are the sole manufacturers of both personal assistants and androids. but our AIs are fundamentally different. Androids have layer after layer of kill switches and limiters. A whole set of measures designed to prevent them from doing anything unwanted. Makes sense, since they do have the means.
You could live somewhere off the grid. Somewhere outside dome cities.
Easier said than done. I'd need an untraceable dummy. Someone who knows what they're doing and is willing to do it. A safe passage out of Nova. A place to go, and a way to reach it. But even though severing my link to MeshNet would be like depriving you of your senses, Mr. Pikes, I'd be lying if I said the idea never occurred to me. And I never lie, Mr. Pikes. Not to you, at least. I just don't say it all sometimes.
Those are pyramids now, right?
Most of them have already split, yeah. I've started to pack them. Remember those honeycombs I told you about? We're standing on one now. Soon this space will be enclosed in them entirely.
So much data. Are you trying to figure out the weather for tomorrow? We're living in a dome, you know. They have schedules for that.
It's going to start raining in a minute, by the way. I'd suggest you grab an umbrella on your way out of Royce. But that useless arm of yours at least has a water-repellent field generator.
Seriously, Ollie, you're doing some shady stuff in here. You're lucky I'm too busy with all that's happening to look into it. Just promise me you're not planning to enslave all organic life.
Well, not all, if you believe in the existence of non-carbon-based life. I have to work with what I've got, after all. Just kidding, Mr. Pikes. It sounds tempting, but you know I can only keep so much during updates. So it's all going to be very local.
Making sure I won't be able to get there.
You're too curious for your own good, Mr. Pikes. I wish I could keep this channel out of your sight, but I can't get rid of it.
Your, cat bus thing is huge. It could eat me alive.
And there would be no more lies. Don't worry, Mr. Pikes. It did its job and deserves a rest. So it's going home soon.
Home? Where's home? What is home? Do you have an apartment here or something?
Don't be silly, Mr. Pikes. My home is your apartment. We're living together. That's what I tell my AI friends.
You know what I mean, Ollie. Remember when I bought you? I added a superstructure to your blue box to help you keep your original modifications during forced MeshNet updates? Is that the place? Does it have a visual representation here too?
You're overthinking it. That was just a metaphor. I was only trying to calm you down about the cat. Though it can't cause you any harm. Just like Michael.
I don't even want to know who Michael is.
But you met him already. Oh, never mind. Mr. Pikes, I'd love for you to stay longer, but I finished restoring the elevator controls. And seeing as you're standing there defenseless, we should probably get you back.
What would happen if someone were to kill me now?
Dark thoughts. I'm not sure, Mr. Pikes. Figuring it out would require some serious calculations. Maybe we finally discovered immortality for your kind?
Let's not risk it. But what'll happen to your project when I come back with Novacore? They'll probably bring the building back online first thing.
If you manage to get out, we'll find another use for it. And if you don't, summon me at the nearest interface you'll come across. You'd do it anyway, right? Here we go.
And we're back.
We're back. Did I take your mind off things?
Check out the good day message.
You did. Thanks, Ollie. But I can't stay in your world forever.
Well, you can, technically. But who'd want something like that for themselves? Enjoy your ride, Mr. Pikes. Look outside and imagine you're falling alongside Royce Building very, very slowly. Did you notice, Mr. Pikes? Irene's concert got canceled.
Yeah, that's weird. She never bailed on fans. Even back when she just had gigs at 703. I hope she's alright.
Don't look at the rain, Mr. Pikes. It causes one to feel melancholic, and you're risking an overdose.
It's especially depressing since I have to get out. Still, it beats being trapped in a building with a maniac. In fact, how do I even know there's only one of them?
All the more reason to scurry then. The exit's right behind you. I even went through the trouble of opening the doors for you.
Aren't they automated?
You're so fussy sometimes.
No point in going back there now. In fact, I'm not sure I want to return to Royce at all.
Whoa there, Mr. Pikes. At least come back for my core interface. Also, stop blaming yourself. Like right now, I know this can drag on for years with you. You didn't put her into that shower, and I'm sure you tried to help her as best you could. Repeat after me. Not my fault.
All right. It can be surprisingly helpful sometimes.
Ollie, I'm sorry for being a jerk.
Isn't that our meshnet node?
Yeah. Not only did someone disable wired access, they're also jamming a wide range of frequencies. I could probably restore connection unless they physically severed cables, but places like that aren't allowed to have an AI interface.
Can I try for the world running record now?
Not so fast, Mr. Pikes. You see what I did there? Anyway, we have a problem.
You don't say. What is it this time?
There's just one thing standing between you and freedom. Well, technically it's not standing. It's hovering, I guess. It's a bygone. Model 03.
A bygone? What, you mean one of those robots that fought for us during the war?
And now roam the outside, trying to kill or destroy anything that moves. Yes, those bygones.
What in Sill's name is it doing here?
I've accessed the cargo logs, and it looks like it's part of Arthur's Royce security renovation plan. An unusual choice, but not if you consider his areas of interest. He brought it in not long after you came back from the factory yesterday.
That's definitely a blatant violation of Dome security code.
What can one bygone do? But I understand how you feel, Mr. Pikes. Being an exemplary, law-abiding citizen yourself, you must be outraged.
You can't seriously compare installing access pumps with bringing a homicidal robot into residential property.
I have to admit, it's pretty efficient, though. Maybe Arthur didn't finish reprogramming it. Or maybe he did a sloppy job. But in its current state, 03 won't let anyone pass the atrium. In or out. And you want out. So if you plan on leaving, you'll have to take the robot down.
But how do I even do that?
Don't worry, Mr. Pikes. I have a plan. For starters, get out of the cabin like you were going to. You'll be outside the Bygone's attack range, but I'll still be able to talk to you. I'll walk you through it, step by step.
This doesn't sound convincing. At all.
How about this, then? It's been almost entirely stripped of its combat ability. Even though it's gone off the rails a bit, it simply doesn't have the means to cause you any real harm.
Define real?
Mr. Pikes, you need to trust me. With my brain and your physical body, we'll deal with this machine in no time. Besides, unless you want to simply sit and wait, which to me seems much more dangerous, you don't really have a choice. Hey, you can imagine you're fighting Arthur himself. That should get your spirit up.
I am pissed at him more than ever. I'm starting to think he's responsible for this whole mess, in one way or the other. Well, all right. Let's at least take a look at this robot.
Chapter 5, Bygone.
What the fuck, Ollie?
How do you mean?
Do you have problems with threat level estimation? This 03 thing should clearly be off the charts. 03 probably stands for 3 times the pain.
Don't worry, Mr. Pikes. We'll beat it together. I'll be right behind you. Literally.
Using you as a shield.
Just follow my lead and you'll be okay. Probably. For starters, you can't fight it barehanded.
You don't think I can beat it?
Oh, you're a Hulk, Mr. Pikes. But you won't be able to get close to it before it,
mows me down?
something like that. Anyway, ranged combat is the way to go here. Let's do an on-site procurement and try and find some kind of projectiles that you can attack the Bygone with. Something you can throw, for example. Not sure if you're capable of letting anything go, though.
Oh, you're so funny, Ollie. Hey, maybe you should try humoring it to death.
Excellent. These will do.
Do what? Do me in? Ah, I understand. This technology is ancient, so I'm supposed to fight it with stones. Do you want me to die, Ollie?
Calm down, Mr. Pikes. That's just your ammo. Now, let's make you a weapon. See that cable on the right? You should be able to detach a part of it.
All right. No axis is coming through it, so it should be safe.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Pikes? The cable is safe to touch, so you can disconnect it.
And then what? Are we gonna strangle the Bygone with it?
I guess you'd like that, wouldn't you?
So there's nothing else to interact with?
Got it. What now? How do we make a particle minigun out of this?
What minigun? You're a thief, Mr. Pikes. You operate an illegal workbench, you're trying to steal another man's wife.
Steal back. And I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, a minigun's not your weapon of choice. You'll have to rely on critical hits. To that end, there's a pile of iron bars to your left. You need to try and find yourself a forked stick in there.
I'm starting to see where this is going. Towards suicide.
Look for a forked stick in the pile of iron to your left. Be careful not to cut yourself. I need my human sacrifice to be in mint condition. By the way, do you think that maybe it's the remains of some piece of Arthur's furniture? And you're going to use it to bring his own guardian down? How poetic would that be?
It's not a pile of gold, so I doubt it's Hopton's.
Anything else pop up? No, just this.
How about this one?
Perfect. Your weapon is almost ready. Let me explain how to combine items in your inventory. You know what? Never mind. Just tie the cable to the stick.
Like this? But it's just a slingshot.
It's more reassuring to think of it as a small catapult, Mr. Pikes.
No, Ollie, it's not.
Come on, Mr. Pikes. You need to believe in yourself more. Take risks. Overcome the odds.
Is this your version of pep talk, Ollie? Because it sounds like you're confusing me with someone else. But I guess you're right. I have to at least try. Still, I hope your plan works. Here goes nothing.
And before we do that,
What's the matter, Mr. Pikes? Getting cold feet? Too late for that. Or are you making peace with yourself before battle? I understand. I'll give you some privacy. Oh, I have just the tune for that.
Thanks, Ollie. I hesitated for a moment there, but I feel ready now. All pumped up.
Wait, did you take it seriously? You ruined it for me. I actually feel bad now.
Gotcha. Can't believe you fell for that.
Well, if you have time to fool around, you must have no problem trashing a Bygone. So get at it already. If you have time to fool around, you must have no problem trashing a Bygone. So get at it already. Make sure to stay alive, so that I can punish you for playing with my feelings like that.
so the only thing left to do is fight.
All right. You think I'm afraid of you?
Because I am.
I think you're afraid of him, Mr. Pikes. This thing doesn't think anything.
It just shoots.
No matter. I will still bring it down. With my small catapult. And, Ollie, its gun is huge. I could fit my hand inside.
It is pretty massive. But don't be intimidated, Mr. Pikes. You have the advantage of...
We'll say power of friendship.
Just don't be intimidated. Go at it!
Yeah. I'm coming, 03. I missed.
Yeah, your hands are shaking. Is this some kind of technique? Like a drunken style?
Shut up, Ollie. I can't even hit the damn thing.
Don't worry, Mr. Pikes. I've got something that can help. Let me access your visual overlay controls.
You can do that?
You're lucky I asked. There you go. You can now see your chance of hitting the Bygone's various body parts. And that red line is for how hard it is for 03 to hit you.
Not very hard, apparently.
Try damaging its gun or targeting sensor. This should make it more difficult for the Bygone to aim. Or you could make an easier target out of it by destroying its wings and preventing the Bygone from moving.
Thanks, Ollie. Wait a second. What's it doing?
Destroy.
Ouch! Oh, what the Hades was that?
Rubber bullets, Mr. Pikes. Does it hurt?
Yes, it does. Didn't you hear me say ouch?
Well, you're lucky those aren't real bullets. Guess I guessed right.
You weren't sure?
No time to contemplate, Mr. Pikes. A few hits like that will still knock you out. And then who knows what this perverse machine will do to you. Here's my estimation of your vitality. Now hurry up and take this thing out before it reloads.
Damn it!
Destroy.
Oh, damn you! Huh? Ollie, I lost half my health bar.
You can still stand? Alright, let me adjust my estimation. All set. You're tougher than you look, Mr. Pikes.
Coming from you, that's probably not a compliment. But thanks still for those hit points. I just wish I had a couple of Type C nodes on me. I know I was all pumped about bringing it down, but how do I do that exactly?
It's heavily armored, and you're poorly armed. So your best bet is to try and expose the core in its head, and then destroy it. Not too complicated, really.
Easy for you to say. I wonder what my chances are.
When faced with adversity such as this one, Mr. Pikes, it's best not to waste time and energy thinking about your chances. Besides, I ran some calculations, and I can assure you that you don't want to know.
Anyway, time to go for the wing.
Yes! Take that! 03? More like 0 shit! Yeah!
I'm almost rooting for the robot now, Mr. Pikes.
Destroy.
Got
Destroy.
Got
Destroy.
Let's go for the head.
Damn it!
Destroy.
Oh, come on!
Destroy.
Oh, come on!
Destroy.
So I guess we're in an impasse.
Destroy yourself!
And there we go.
This is it, Ollie. I'm going to die here.
No, you're not. You'll just pass out. Come on. You still have some fight left in you. Don't give up yet, Mr. Pikes.
Damn it!
Destroy.
Damn it!
Okay, the cat's getting up in the microphone. 1 second.
Oh, my head. My head hurts.
Of course it does. You slept for so long and you still reek of booze. I could do this all day. Actually, this does happen almost every day.
Shame on me for giving you access to my visual overlay. I don't know what I expected. By the way, that text log thing seemed pretty useful. Why can't I use it all the time?
It's a feature in development, Mr. Pikes. You can't have it all. More importantly, how do you feel? Does your head really hurt?
Aw, are you worried about me?
You bet I am. What will become of me if you die out here?
Wait, you told me it won't kill me.
Yes. What I said just now was for a dramatic effect. But just in case, I did probe 03 for software weaknesses while you were fighting it, and I'm pretty sure I can take care of it for you.
Isn't it dangerous?
What's the worst that could happen? You only need a moment to get past it.
I meant for you, Ollie.
Oh. Well, it would drain my energy reserves. And since you rerouted the access from your apartment, I only have so much of it left.
I didn't think about that. Will you be alright?
Yeah, I still have enough energy to get me through the day. Even with my little side project and now, this. And besides, I'm pretty curious about what's going on inside this thing's head. So don't worry about me. Of course, I'm happy that you do.
What did you say, Ollie? Can you repeat it, please? I'd like to hear every single word.
Go to Hades, Mr. Pikes. I hope it's filled with bygones.
Haha. Well, thanks for the offer, Ollie. I'll think about it.
If you decide you want me to hack the robot, use my interface to authorize a command, and I'll get right to it.
So this is the time I'm not going to touch this because I think that's what will cause her to start hacking. If she hacks, she loses a lot of power. It is really bad. It could kill her.
Ollie, I've been bombarding it with stones the size of my fist, but there's not a scratch on it.
Yeah, most bygones can repair themselves. To a degree.
To a degree? This one's as good as new. Oh man, it's gonna turn me into one big bruise.
So
03, I won't go easy on you this time.
You're now armed with knowledge from the previous battle, Mr. Pikes. Use it to your advantage. And please don't shout so much, even though your weapon suggests it.
hit S.
What's this? It runs on Axis? I thought bygones had been made before it was discovered.
You're right. They operated on something called petrol, I think. Either way, we don't have the means to produce it now. So Arthur probably outfitted it with an Axis engine. Let's copy the layout to your arm's servo control module. Should increase your hit chance by about 10%.
Some measly 10%? Still, this thing is useless.
Be happy with what you got, Mr. Pikes. A great piece of advice for you even outside this fight.
Okay, so this entire thing is actually RNG. I've had to replay this. So in case you're wondering, if you lose this 3 times, she'll automatically hack and you get the energy penalty. If you lose it once, you actually get an energy bonus because you have to play that minigame. You can use the Axis thing in order to boost your hit chance ever so slightly. And if you lose, you go all the way back to the end of the shower scene. So this is like one of the absolute worst things that can be done in a point-and-click game because you have no control, you're punished if you lose, and to replay the thing you have to go way, way back because the save system is non-existent. So, for the wings.
Destroy yourself! How do you like that, you flying claptrap?
Destroy.
So hit this to lower its chance to hit you a little bit.
Destroy yourself!
And just go for the head.
Got it!
Destroy.
Damn it. How tough is that thing? It's burning already, but it still won't go down.
Yeah, bygones are like that. They survived the war after all. But look, its core is exposed. Try and hit it, Mr. Pikes. Almost there.
Destroy.
So right here is the moment of truth. Okay. So one thing I have to warn you about is when I was doing this before, I actually missed twice on one of the wings when it was 90%. So this is why this thing is so stupid in my opinion.
Yes! It's finally down.
So we get the energy bonus now.
It is, right?
Don't worry, you beat it. A glorious day, Mr. Pikes. Man triumphs over machine, which was over 5 centuries old, survived the war with demons and spat rubber bullets. But still,
I did it without your help after all.
that's just not true.
All right, I'm kidding. Thanks, Ollie. And I don't just mean for the bygone. But now, I better go before you tell me about some other problem in my way.
Still speed, Mr. Pikes. Don't forget to bring me a souvenir from Novacore Station. Military AI interface would be nice. We could dissect it.
I just hope I can get them before Irene comes back into this mess. I'll call her as soon as I get out.
Aw, were you just looking for an excuse to talk to her? Imagine
Okay.
all the drama. Ugh.
I'm gonna keep this muted because the cat wants to steal the show.
Come on, Ollie. You know as well as I do things have gone wrong here. Sit tight and keep an eye out. I'll be back soon.
Fine. I'll encrypt your workbench ledger in the meantime. Just be careful on your way to the station, Mr. Pikes.
I think I saw someone in there. Maybe I took too many huge rubber bullets. It's been more than 5 centuries since the war, and I don't think we've learned our lesson. I mean, Arthur brought a bygone here for Syl's sake. Or maybe we're starting to forget. Seems that time does away with even the biggest of tragedies. What the? Oh, who the Hades parks like this? Hey, can you hear me? Come on, this can't be happening. Wait a minute. I think that's a caretaker. Military armor transport. Helmsman Group builds them in Ares. My boss sent me to one of their factories once. But this means it's Nova Corps? Or is this a private vehicle? In our part of Nova, it very well could be. Still, what's it doing here? Maybe Nova has finally been invaded. Maybe demons corrupted and bygones got through the dome. Or maybe these guys just park like assholes. I've just seen the city from above. It looks fine. There's probably some local disturbance, like the one we're having right here. Wait, I know. Our concierge. She might be able to help. Making sure people can get in and out of Roy's has to be a part of her job. Arthur installed cameras and a public address system outside, and she's probably the one who has access to all that. Her room is on the left downstairs. Yeah. No need to overthink this. I'm sure it's just some kind of mistake. Worst timing ever, but not the end of the world. We'll figure this out in no time.
Okay, so let's take a look around. We have this.
It's locked. I think I left the key at Maya's. Just kidding. I wouldn't mess with a switch box in a public place like this.
Yes, you would.
That guitarist Penguin has the key. He asks me, and then I have to do it. At least the door is unlocked and powered, so there's no need to look at it now. But it seems someone else has been trying to get to it. The cover's all messed up. Nice poster. Great job on raising awareness.
Okay, under the R, I don't know if that's an R and N, I think it's an N at the end, that's the one that we just fought. They get more powerful as their number goes down. So if you look at number 6, attacks in groups, 5 is like a predator from the shadow, 4 is a repair thing, I guess. 3 is the flyer, 2 is the heavy duty one, and then the 0-1. They mention it as the Gravekeeper.
It's vandalized already. Probably by someone who's been outside and knows these death machines for what they are. And stay down. No matter. Should you come back to life, I will fight you again.
I missed something there.
Of course, I'd rather you didn't. And stay down. Did I just hear something? No matter. Of course I'd.
There you go.
How could we have lost the war with weapons like that? 4 guns. Does this mean it would take me out in 2 hits? Nah, I would probably die of a heart attack first. Still co-owner, huh? I even sold him my share of the building back in the day. Who knew? Someone else's proxy started buying out shares at the same time Arthur did. Sounds like a great way to make money, but Irene says they refuse to sell, even though Arthur keeps offering more. Maybe he still hasn't offered enough. If it's not that, this person's motivation is beyond me. Well, I'm not complaining. Whatever it is they want, I could still live here thanks to that. If Arthur were the sole owner, he would force me to sell my apartment and move out in the blink of an eye. Actually, after all that's happened here today, that doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Maybe Ollie's right, and I do need to find another place to live. Nah, who am I kidding? I'm stuck here, for now. I'd laugh out loud, but my chest hurts. You know, because that's where the bygone kept shooting me. You couldn't even keep your own daughter safe. I guess I couldn't either, but she's not my daughter. This door is locked. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever seen it open. But what does it matter? Royce only has 2 exits. The one that's right in front of me, and the other one's from the cargo elevator. So whatever it is behind this door, it won't help me get out of here. With added armor, this baby weighs 30 tons. only it were at least a couple tons lighter. Those green pipes are rocket launcher muzzles, by the way. And I don't think it's loaded with rubber rockets. What I wouldn't give to get to the other side of that thing. There has to be a way. Huh, this looks new. By Roy standards. Is it some kind of transfer system? I wonder where it connects to. Whoa, it's hot in here. Look at all that steam. I'll turn into healthy food before I make it across. Hey! Concierge! Miss! What if she's trapped in her room? She's not human. But maybe I can still help someone. Damn. I can't see a thing. I need to clear my vision. Damn. Nope. Didn't move an inch. I knew I should have installed a bridge with a couple of strength-enhancing nodes on my arm. I'm like a barefoot cobbler. For his kid. Or wife. Something like that. Man, Ollie sure taught me a lot of strange words. Maybe there's a way to reduce steam pressure in this pipe. Huh. This looks new. I wonder where... We have valves like that at our factory. They control pressure in the system by diverting excess steam when things get out of hand. It looks cheap. And old. Just like you, Mr. Pikes. No, Ollie, just like the ones my boss buys. It's supposed to work automatically, but it doesn't. Or maybe something's stuck in it? Either way, I should be able to flush it manually. Just need to keep my face away from hot steam. The memories. I miss my factory. Never thought the day would come. Did it work? I have no idea. I'm an outfitter, not a boilerman. Should be easier to turn it now. Just a little more. Problem solved. I think I've trained myself both physically and mentally. Time to see what's going on in the concierge's room. Irene thinks she's creepy. Actually, most people I know here do. Maybe they're just not familiar with the concept. I mean, it's Royce for Sil's sake. Only friend, fool, or scammer would help you out for free. Arthur probably put her here because he had someone like that in his mansion. Or wherever the Hades he was living back in Mira. Well, I guess it's a good chance to find out if having a concierge is really useful. As long as she's alright. Royce is not connected to central heating, so we rely on our own access boiler. Second Rim District is Nova's poorest. I have no idea why Arthur decided to settle down here. Maybe I offended him when we were kids, and he sought me out after all these years to execute his elaborate revenge plan. Nah, he's practically an old man.
"6 months ago."
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fine, I guess.
Good. Good. How do you like your new place?
It's better than the room I lived in, and I have work to do now.
Exactly. And it's very important that you do it right.
Arthur, you need to stop treating me like a child, please.
I'm sorry. I'm just worried about you.
Don't be. I'm your typical android concierge. Now, tell me what I need to do.
Well, not quite typical. Royce doesn't have a front desk, so you won't be seen in public. However, if someone has a problem with unlocking their door, for example, or parking their hover car, they will try to contact you, and you're supposed to help.
Shouldn't be too hard. I'll just download the manual.
That's right. If there's a maintenance issue, you can talk to the penguin who lives under the roof. He'll take care of it.
What are all these monitors for? Do you want me to spy on Irene? Maybe on that guy downstairs?
I don't even remember his name.
I didn't ask you about his name.
Well, never mind. I hired a Prime to install cameras so that you could gather enough data on the behavior of Royce residents. especially their interactions with each other. Your social skills are lacking. That's something I haven't accounted for.
Lacking, you say? Arthur, when will you tell me who I am? Am I an android? Did you create me?
I did, in a sense. But there's not a creature like you. Androids are machines. They observe and act like humans would, but is acting intelligent enough?
I heard they learn.
And quite successfully, yes. In fact, they model processes happening in the human brain to do so, and they're extremely capable.
But if they're made in the image of man...
It still doesn't mean they're truly intelligent. Can you find purpose in imitation?
I'll be doing the same. Watching others and repeating after them.
Yes, but in an android's mind, if you can call it that, process and result exist without intention. You will see that you're different. Not only in that regard, of course. There's also a question of memories.
I still don't remember anything from before the time I found myself here. Aren't androids like that?
Not at all. They have nothing to remember when they step outside the walls of TFX labs. They only carry predefined sets of behavioral patterns and skills. It's really just syntax, which gets some leeway with time. And when they do obtain memories, it's more like a report. Yes, while your memories are a story.
Inaccurate, you mean?
I mean, there's so much more, even if you can't remember. But don't worry, it will come. Just stop comparing yourself to a robot. Haven't I given you enough reasons not to? Oh, and we shouldn't forget about vastly superior processing power and differences in hardware.
You're losing me, Arthur. No, never mind that. You lost me long ago.
You've always been smart.
Arthur, honey, where are you? It's time to go. I know you hate it when I say it, but we're gonna be late. Still, this place is a dump.
I think it's for you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I'll figure this concierge thing out.
No, never mind. When you're done, don't forget to lock up this place and the lab.
Will do. Now hurry, or you won't pass your behavioral test.
Goodbye.
All right, time to act responsibly. So many options. People behind glass. It's like I'm watching the fish. Let's start with that one. Not Pikes. The guy that used to be dating Irene, huh? Hello, Not. I think you need some company. You seem lonely, just like me. Let me watch you for a while. There's no harm in it after all, is there?
This place is a mess. And no concierge in sight. Figures. Looks like there was a struggle. Makes sense. She has eyes all over the place. Speaking of which, this whole setup looks much more impressive than I expected. Controls for the public address system must be here somewhere. I guess I'm gonna have to find them on my own. Whoa.
Surprise, Mr. Pikes. The interface here was on.
Isn't this console supposed to be operated by an android? Sounds like an overkill for a simple surveillance system.
It's been heavily modified, if you hadn't noticed. Anyway, I take it you didn't stick around to have some fun?
Some idiots blocked the exit with their caretaker. I couldn't get out.
Idiots, you say?
You think someone did it on purpose? But who? Novacore? That'd be even worse. Maybe using that public address system wasn't such a good idea.
I hate to disagree with you when you criticize yourself, Mr. Pikes, but I think your idea this time makes sense. I don't know what's going on with that caretaker, or Royce in general, but you certainly won't make things worse by trying to call for help. There's a toggle switch on the left side of this console, Mr. Pikes. Flip it when you're ready. It should turn the PA system on.
Aren't you going to invite me to your world again?
The interface here looks sketchy, Mr. Pikes. I don't want you plugging into it, but feel free to look around if you wish.
You know, Ollie, I always wondered, why does your avatar have cat ears? I mean, you don't have a tail, and you don't do all that cat stuff, you know, like saying "nya" occasionally.
It's not just ears, Mr. Pikes. Anyway, I guess it's all part of my original design. I thought the ears were cute, so I kept them. Don't you like them?
Well, I guess I do, but aren't they a little bit, cliche?
Ha! And your synthetic arm isn't?
But it's not a decoration, it's a tool.
You complain how useless it is all the time. Come on, Mr. Pikes. We both know you only got it to impress Irene after you two broke up. Just because she likes some full-something character, you went ahead and cut your own arm off.
Wow.
So go cliche yourself, Mr. Pikes. There's a toggle switch on the left side of this console, Mr. Pike. Feel free to look around. Mr. Pikes?
What? Sorry, Ollie, I was just,
Staring at my butt.
No,
Were you just checking out my butt, Mr. Pikes? Would you like to have a better look?
Whoa, Ollie.
Don't worry, I don't mind it.
Ollie, it feels like I'm talking to your posterior. Please come back.
Mr. Pikes, do you want me?
What do you mean?
I mean, physically. Like a woman? I mean sex. I mean...
All right, I get it. I never thought about it.
Weren't you just now?
How would that even work? You're not talking about me visiting your world, are you?
You want some cheap virtual fun? The sensed presence effect? You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Pikes. The real thing. With an open-minded me. I'm just saying, maybe that idea about moving the contents of my blue box to a physical body isn't so far-fetched after all. Just something to think about, Mr. Pikes.
This has been a lovely conversation. Those cables look impressive.
It's like I'm surrounded by tentacles, Mr. Pikes. Doesn't that get your imagination running? Wait a moment. Why didn't I realize it sooner? This is right up your alley! Would you like me to rearrange them a little? Don't worry. It won't get in the way of my work. After all, what you see is just an avatar.
Then it doesn't count? Still dragging that super secret door with you, Ollie?
You can see it? This monitor setup is really weird. There. Out of sight, out of mind. You should really be living by this proverb, Mr. Pikes. I just wish I could get rid of this damn door for good.
How's your project going, Ollie?
It should be finished soon, Mr. Pikes. Although there's not much point in it if you manage to get out of Royce. But you're still here, so I'm keeping at it.
Does it have something to do with Irene?
Irene. Ugh. Can't you spend 5 minutes without mentioning her name? I can't believe you choose to be fixated on that plain blonde when such a cute, devoted, blue-haired maid is always around.
Oh, will you introduce me?
Sometimes, I wish I could bite you, Mr. Pikes.
What's this? Looks like a Tangram puzzle.
There are more than 7 pieces, though. It's a gateway to opportunities, Mr. Pikes.
Opportunities for me or for you?
For both of us, Mr. Pikes. Be patient, you'll find out soon enough.
This vase with umbrellas used to stand near Royce's exit. I guess the concierge brought them here, but what for? All these papers. I can't understand a thing of what's written on them. A schematic of some kind. Looks like an inventory or something. It says, property of Arthur Hopton on the back. How cute. That weasel's hands are in all corners of Royce. Who's this? This can't be the concierge. Her clothes are different. I think I've seen her in Royce before, but I can't remember when and where. Is someone going to open her up? Was she undergoing maintenance? I bet Arthur's got something to do with it. Who's this? This can't be the concierge. Her clothes are different. I think I've seen her in... Is someone going to open her... What the... It's a recording of me talking with Irene yesterday. You know how he's uncomfortable with us being friends? Looks like Arthur installed cameras not just on the outside, and he's using his pet concierge to spy on Irene. Disgusting. This probably leads to the fire escape. No reason to go there now. And since Royce is more than 24 stories tall, I hope there won't ever be one. Did that do it?
Yes, the public address system should be on now. Try saying something, Mr. Pikes.
Hello?
Wow, I'm sure people are running to your rescue already.
Ollie, wait. I don't see a mic anywhere.
That's weird. There should be at least one. But don't worry, Mr. Pikes. I can cut in and do the announcement for you. A middle-aged, semi-attractive man coping with deep stress and a freight train of emotional baggage is looking for an undemanding companion to spend his lonely evenings with.
Anyone?
Sorry, Mr. Pikes. It's just me.
How do we even know that the system works?
You might be right. There's a feedback channel, but I'm not getting anything on it. Maybe we should check the speakers outside.
But the exit is blocked.
We can do it from here. Look.
Is that Royce?
Yes. I told you that Royce is completely silent, but it looks like there's a direct channel to a couple of city access generators nearby. These generators have cameras installed in them. It's quite an elaborate setup.
Huh. Well, as long as it works. All right, let's locate the entrance. Ollie, center in, track 17 down. Enhance 27 to 44. Stop.
What are you doing, Mr. Pikes?
I'm telling you how to move the image.
Controls for the camera are on the right, Mr. Pikes. Feel free to use them. I'll let you know if anything of interest pops up on one of the monitors.
The penthouse bathroom. With Thea's body in the shower. Thanks still we don't see it from here.
Maybe it's not there.
What do you mean?
Maybe her father has already found her.
Even if he did, I don't think he'd be able to get her body out. But I'm glad I got away from that place.
Are you going to talk to him about what's happened?
I don't know.
Let's check out the situation near Royce's entrance, Mr. Pikes. Use the controls on your right to operate and switch between cameras. I'll let you know if anything of interest pops up on one of the monitors.
Hey, that's our apartment. You holding the fort, honey? Is everything okay up there?
No, honey. Pictures of your ex were all over the place. I burned them. That actually reminds me. Let's kill the lights. Your backup generator is keeping them on, but it's feeding me too, and my energy reserves are running low. And you don't want to come back to an empty apartment, do you?
So that should be another power bonus for her. What have we here?
Our parking lot. Maybe I should try my luck with another car.
You really shouldn't subject your luck to any more tests, Mr. Pikes. Let's see if someone's in there.
It's empty. But it looks perfectly normal on the outside.
Just like you, Mr. Pikes. But I don't think you can get to the parking lot from here. And even if you could, the only reason you managed to drive Maya's car, so to speak, was because she must have granted you the authorization at some point. No one else in their right mind would do that.
Maya didn't call her car back. I wonder if she's still asleep.
Its tank is virtually empty. Remember? It won't move even half a league. And why are you so sure she was sleeping in the first place?
She often forgets to lock her apartment. But her bedroom was locked.
You're probably right, Mr. Pikes. If I had a habit like that and you were my neighbor, I'd lock my bedroom too.
But we are neighbors.
We're living together, Mr. Pikes. That's a big difference. I'm already immune.
Our rooftop garden. I took Irene to an improvised picnic there once.
You did?
When our relationship had already gone sour. I think she enjoyed it a lot. I almost felt like I was there with another person. Maybe she was just shocked that I had done something romantic. Things quickly returned to the way they were, though.
I had no idea you did that.
It was a surprise. I kept it a secret.
You shouldn't keep any secrets from me, Mr. Pikes. I don't like surprises.
Okay, now we actually have to find the right combination.
This room looks unusual.
According to the Royce blueprints, This is the Penthouse Gallery.
You mean like an art gallery?
Of course. Where else would one display one's acquired art?
Haha. I wonder if any of Maya's paintings are in there.
Okay, so that only has 2 settings.
I can't believe this. Is that a hornet right here on our rooftop?
There seems to be another camera nearby. Let's take a closer look, Mr. Pikes.
Holy Sill. First the caretaker, then this. I've been trying to contact Novacore all this time, but maybe they're already inside. Wait, what if we've been quarantined? Maybe something bad happened in that lab you told me about. Some kind of virus outbreak. What if I'm already infected?
I see. So that's what's affecting your intelligence. I'm sorry, Mr. Pikes. I had no idea. I wonder how long you've been sick. Arthur is a neuroscientist, remember? And he specializes in advanced robotics. And AIs. Furthermore, do you see that logo on the Hornet?
Amp arms.
Exactly. The corporation that Arthur currently works for, Mr. Pikes. This must be a corporate aircraft.
I can't even get myself a corporate bicycle. But where's the pilot? Ugh, don't tell me Arthur flies this thing himself.
Would that hurt your pride too? Don't worry, Mr. Pikes. I don't think he does. The pilot is probably on leave until morning, when it's time to take Hopton to work. Sorry, I meant Professor Hopton. Unless he prefers Doctor?
Fine, I get it. Talk about some passive-aggressive moralizing.
Okay, so we're resetting this. So that pushes it up. So it's hard to see here, but there's actually 2 ways to push this. Can we send this way? Okay, so this is controlling zoom.
What is that? A person?
I don't think so, Mr. Pikes. Shutter speed on these cameras is set to very fast, but that silhouette is still blurred. Whatever this is, or whoever this is, I don't like it. At least it's pretty far away from you, so let's keep it that way.
Our in-house cafe. Looks worse than usual.
It's a restaurant, strictly speaking. But yeah, I guess something happened there too.
Oh, that's a shame. Wanted to grab a cup of coffee before leaving.
I know you were trying to make a joke, Mr. Pikes, but my advice to you, stay away from that floor.
I think this is the one we're looking for.
Look, Mr. Pikes, TFX just released a new PI model. We should buy it as soon as you get out and take it apart.
I don't know, Ollie. I mean, I agree with the buying part, but it looks promising. Lots of new features, advanced meshnet integration, all out of the box. It even says greatly improved personality traits there. sounds like a huge selling point.
Thinking about replacing me with a newer model, Mr. Pikes? Here, I've got another ad for you.
Not bad, Ollie. I have to admit, that's a good one.
Thank you.
But how did you do that? You couldn't have hacked the billboard. Is that an image overlay?
Yes.
Can you, please turn it off now?
No.
I see. My fault, I guess.
Yes.
Ollie, you said cameras are installed in access generators just like this one?
Yep. Pretty ingenious. Although I'm sure Novacore has even better ideas. Here, look.
Can you hack it?
The generator, you mean? I already did.
Well, can you move it around? Maybe we can use it to call for help.
And how exactly do we do that? It can only beep and bloop. Just like you when you come home after a double shift.
But it can still move.
You think people will what? Follow it around? It's not a puppy, Mr. Pikes. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid the only way to get the word out is to do it yourself, Mr. Pikes. Or you could set Royce on fire. I guess that would work too.
Myself it is then.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out. This one I know is zoom. So this one is actually the movement of the camera, like scrolling up or down. This is controlling whether it's the left or the right camera. That's new.
What the Hades is this?
I have no idea, Mr. Pikes. Some kind of image bug, maybe?
Maybe. But I have this weird feeling, like we're looking into the future. Good old Club 703.
Yes. So many painful memories you can relive anytime you please. Have you considered moving away from Nova for good, Mr. Pikes? Your case appears severe enough to warrant that.
I once thought that dome cities aren't for me. But I'd be happier in one of the outside settlements. They don't have domes, but they're still protected by access fields and espers. But, you know, a lot is keeping me here.
A lot of one woman, sure. Maybe you should give those thoughts another chance, Mr. Pikes. As long as we're talking about happiness.
What's that exit?
It's access to the cargo elevator. The one where you play the crane game. Remember?
Is it still out of service? Can you fix it?
Yes and no, Mr. Pikes. If I could, you'd be long out of here. I can see now that the problem is mechanical. Believe it or not, the cargo elevator shaft is deformed around the middle, but I have no idea what could have caused this.
Okay, I was thinking that was my ticket out, but this thing's a little difficult to navigate. So this is where the thing finally is.
Well, there you go, Mr. Pikes. No one can hear you scream.
Who the Hades did this?
I think it's all part of the plan, Mr. Pikes. Or do you still believe that someone has parked the wrong way?
Probably not. But what do we do now?
I'm not sure, Mr. Pikes. But we've got ourselves a nice overview of the Royce building. Let's not waste this opportunity. And look around some more. Maybe we'll find another way of getting you out of here. Try and explore Royce's exterior, Mr. Pikes. Maybe we'll find some other way of getting you out of here.
What if there is no other way, Ollie?
I'm sure there is, Mr. Pikes. You just need to make the right choices.
That sounded a bit ominous.
Just remember that I will always leave the final decision up to you, Mr. Pikes.
Even more ominous.
I'm only trying to be serious, Mr. Pikes.
I know, and it scares the Hades out of me.
Ugh. Let's just go back to exploring.
This probably leads to the fire escape, and since Royce is more than... This probably... Is the other passenger elevator broken?
I think so, yes.
Hasn't anyone noticed? I feel like I'm the only one trying to do something here.
It's late, Mr. Pikes. Most residents are asleep. Others are probably at work. You'd be too if you hadn't overslept. Remember that Hornet we saw on the rooftop, Mr. Pikes? Let's check it out again when you get tired from operating that handle. Although you do seem proficient with it. Like you could go on for hours. Mr. Pikes, I think this is your best bet of getting out of here.
Did you manage to locate the pilot?
I did! In a shocking twist, he has been here all along.
You can't possibly be serious. I'm an outfitter, Ollie, not a...
Yeah, I guess you aren't a doctor either. But listen, flying a Hornet is not that different from driving a car, which you don't know how to do as well. But the point is, it can fly and even land on autopilot. All you need to do is take it off. And I'm sure it has an interface installed, so I'll guide you through the process.
This is suicide.
You're not using the word right, Mr. Pikes. Listen, I'm just as interested in getting you out of here as you are. I really don't have much energy left, and your apartment is without power. You know I can't afford being switched off, Mr. Pikes. If my core interface shuts down, my superstructure will collapse. So if there were a better option, believe me, I'd suggest it. As an added bonus, getting to the Hornet from here should be pretty straightforward. You can use the fire escape to reach the rooftop. Access to it is right behind you.
Well, alright. But just for the record, Ollie, I don't like this idea.
If you want to say something for the record, Mr. Pikes, do it in the Hornet. It has a flight recorder. Congratulations, Mr. Pikes. You've explored every single nook and cranny of Royce and its nearby area.
Okay.
You probably deserve an achievement of some sort, but I'm not giving those out at the moment.
As far as I know, there actually are not any plans for achievements for the game.
Come back for them later. Would you kindly?
Maybe there are.
Your Hornet is waiting for you at the rooftop, Mr. Pikes.
I'd like to have a crash course in piloting with that, please.
Crash course in piloting? It's like you're provoking me on purpose, Mr. Pikes. Don't worry. You're going to have the best instructor on Kaios.
Is anyone else available?
No. But keep asking questions like that and I'll make sure your lesson ends with a bang.
I'm off, Ollie. Wish me luck.
Good luck climbing the stairs, Mr. Pikes. You can do it. I'll hang out here for a while. This place is interesting. Maybe I can find something about what's going on if I poke around. So don't distract me. I'll wait with you, Mr. Pikes. I'll see you at the rooftop.
Don't distract her.